The Eagles of Santa Margarita Catholic High School have one of the most successful high school swim programs in the country. Today we celebrate their achievements with Coach Ron Blanc and 4 of his finest young swimmers carrying the torch for years to come. Swimming, one of the most demanding sports with some of the most dedicated athletes that truly love to swim. This is Coach's Corner. I'm Paul Higgins, and all the action starts right now. So, Ron, you and I were just talking about it. You came to Santa Margarita as a coach in '96. The school opens up in 1991. From 91 to 96, nothing. Since you've been here, since 1996, involved in coaching and as a head coach, 9 times CIF champs with the girls, 2 times with the boys, 3 state championships with the girls, 4 national championships with the girls. You're a pretty good coach.
Well, it's funny that sometimes people ask, well, this must have happened automatically. But no, it took time. Yeah. And it's kind of a life lesson to convey to other coaches that instant success doesn't happen. Yeah. You've got to put in the time, and it does take time before that all happens. Yeah,
and today, we're going to celebrate what you've done, but also we're going to celebrate what's coming up. You've brought 4 young swimmers with you, sophomores and a junior. And we have Evan here. And Evan, you and I were talking about, you do the butterfly, the backstroke, and 50 meters. And how do you enjoy swimming here at Santa Margarita? It's a very competitive atmosphere. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I feel like the competitive atmosphere just helps me to do my best. But what I love about swimming here is just being able to see my friends and to just do a sport that I enjoy while having fun.
Tell me about, this is an individual sport, but ultimately it's a team sport. It's kind of like wrestling. It's an individual sport, or track. It's an individual sport. There's a few of those sports out there, but it's also a team sport. How does that play into your approach?
Well, I think when I see all my friends standing at the end of the lane when I'm racing, I feel like it just gives me extra motivation to, push myself and to swim a good time, so I can I can talk to my friends afterwards about it.
Yeah. Coach, I gave you the opportunity to pick any athletes you want. The seniors have gone on to graduate. These guys are rising to their next grade level. Why did you select Evan to be on the show today?
Well, Evan has come so far in such a very short period of time, and literally just 3 months during the high school swim season. He's gone from someone that made our open team, which was the lowest team, to breaking 3 school records on the open level, and his future is so bright, and it's all because he works so hard and he's got a wonderful attitude, and so it was just a natural decision to say, yes, let's bring him in.
When the swimmers walk through the gate that's over my left shoulder, do you know right away, can you size them up, or does some surprise you like Evan?
The surprises take place when we see them in the water.
Okay.
Because you really can't tell from on the outside, and sometimes some kids are like, we don't know physically if they're going to be great swimmers, and then they hit the water, and that's what really tells the story apart. And we were able to see that from the beginning, from our very first meet, the pentathlon, where all the swimmers got a chance to get a swim in. And then throughout the whole season, you could just see every day this was happening.
I always say swimmers, when teaching in the classroom, swimmers are some of my best students. And I think that's a credit to what you guys do, the discipline of the sport. Is that particularly true with all swimmers, that they're good in the classroom as well?
We actually had our boys' team GPA was the highest we ever had, was a 3.93 this season. And I think the swimmers understand that you have to budget your time. You can't just simply show up to school or show up to practice. You understand that you've got homework, you've got meets, you've got early morning practices. And so swimmers I think are more in tune with the understanding that they have to really program their time, plan out their schedule, and be ready.
Evan, you were the first one to show up today, and also you had practice early this morning.
Yeah.
Do you feel as though that you're dedicated to this sport?
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna stay dedicated to it because I enjoy swimming so much, and I'm willing to go to morning practices to get better, and I just want to improve.
Why swimming? Obviously, you're a great athlete. If Coach tells me that you walked in the door and then all of a sudden you've broken 3 records and you've gone from one level to the next level to the next level, why swimming for you?
Well, swimming is just like I've always swam, and I feel like it's something that I'm the best at for me, and like I've tried to do other sports. And although I've had fun, I've never experienced something like swim, like with such a good atmosphere, where with my friends and with my coaches. And then just coming to SM and swimming here, it was like it just made it even better.
Yeah, Coach, I was out here about 2 weeks ago with you, and you had a couple swimmers in the pool. Your sister was here, and you do also individual coaching, and I've walked by this pool hundreds of times. And I've heard club coaches here, and I hear sometimes yelling or screaming, not in a bad way. I haven't heard your voice raised above anything. How was your approach? It seems like you have a very even keel and a very structured approach.
Well, we try to take a look at every kid as being an individual, and they all have different needs. And yelling and screaming doesn't really change the student's performance, and it can be very detrimental. And so sometimes there are some students that do need a little bit of more of a kick, and at that point then that's what we'll employ. But we do try to customize everything with each student because everyone is different and they're going to respond to different stimuli.
Yeah, Evan, your thoughts about your goals. You're going to be a sophomore, correct, coming up?
Yes.
As a sophomore, you start to get in the thick of really what this is all about, right? And you, at one point you're going to figure out how serious you are about this sport. Tell me your thoughts as you approach going into your sophomore year, and young man, what is your goal?
Well, my goal is to just obviously improve and everything, but I really just want to I want to make friends and meet new people, and then just while getting better, so then and always try to improve at every meet and go to practices, and to just because I want to become the best swimmer I can be, and especially while I'm on the high school. So it gives me a sense of I'm working hard and it pays off in the pool.
Well, that is some good words, and you're a bright young man, which I expected. So congratulations so far to your early success, and good luck as you continue in your sophomore year.
Thank you.
Kaitlin Kreb is up next right here on Coach's Corner.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Coach, you and I know each other pretty well over the years, and you wear a couple hats at this school. Director of admissions. So the enrollment at this school has gone up quite a bit since you've been doing this job. So congratulations. And I know you're celebrating your 20th year as a faculty member, but you've been here longer than that as a coach. How do you handle both jobs and do it so well?
Well, just like with anything, you have a great team. When you have a great team, you've got people that are able to help out when, let's say I'm going to be at a swim meet and I got to be setting up for a swim meet, and I know that my team with the admissions office is there and they're going to be picking up the slack. And it's just, as long as we always think of what is best for the school and what's best for the students, then everything is going to fall in line. And that's been our philosophy at admissions, and hopefully also it's the same philosophy that we have with coaching.
Coach, your most famous swimmer is Katie McLaughlin. She won a silver in the 4x200 freestyle relay. I'm sure you watched every second of that.
Oh, we did. Not only were we watching it from home, but we were very, very blessed to have her be a guest speaker at our team retreat this year. She's coaching a team up in Northern California, so she did it via Zoom, but it was wonderful for our kids, our current kids, to be able to get a chance to listen to, the greatest swimmer that we've ever had. And to hear her experiences and the ups and downs. There's no perfect road in swimming. There are bumps in the road, and how do you overcome them? And your resiliency is always a wonderful story to hear.
And Kaitlyn, I want to welcome you to the show. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just setting you up, okay?
Okay.
Set Kaitlyn way up here, and you're on the rise, right?
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Did you hear Kaitlyn talk? And tell me about that.
Yeah, I was there, and it was really special because, I mean, to see somebody that's done so much at this pool and think that one day maybe that could be me, I mean, it's kind of just hope for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaitlyn, how tall are you?
I like to tell people 5'10". 5'9" 3/4".
So, will you get taller too? You're going to be a junior. Are you
Yeah.
Are you getting taller, or is it done?
I think I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I asked you that. Is there a difference between a taller swimmer and a shorter swimmer? And if there is, tell me what that is besides the size difference.
I mean, I think a lot of people outside of the sport do view height as a really big factor, but you can have a really tall person that doesn't work as hard and like a really short person who puts in the work and is just super fast and will outtouch the person by even like a couple seconds. So I think height really is deceiving in this sport, and although it is intimidating, like I can step up and like a girl who's 4'10" might be a little scared of me, but she could easily beat me in any race if she works more than I do.
So don't judge the book by the cover,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Now you have a younger sister that's going to be coming into SM and soccer.
Yeah.
Did you ever play soccer?
I did until I had a little accident, decided that sports with contact really wasn't for me.
Right, and you say that with a smile, but in all seriousness, you can get hurt in a pool, but it's a little bit more forgiving. What type of injuries does an athlete sustain in a pool? I'm sure the joints, shoulders, that kind of thing. Can you expand on that a little bit?
I mean, I've pulled plenty of muscles. I pulled my back, I've pulled my stomach, pulled my hammies. I mean, I've popped my shoulder when I hit the wall the wrong way. I mean, there's really a bunch of stuff you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Coach, as a coach, and we know as we get older, it's harder to do things. And these young athletes are a little bit more limber and forgiving. But how do you train them even before they get in here?
Well, technique is key. And a lot of common problems are shoulder injuries. And with proper technique, proper rotation in the body, then your chances of getting a shoulder injury are much less. And we have a very extensive dryland program in the weight room. And making sure that the technique is being taught to the very specific detail is just a continuation of why we need to do this, is to prevent injuries and not only to gain strength from the weights and then from gaining conditioning in the pool, but we want to make sure that we're not encountering injuries.
Yeah. Kaitlyn, just talking to her briefly, she's a great ambassador for your team. Tell me what type of athlete she is and what you're going to expect out of her the next 2 years. And don't get shocked here.
Well, Kaitlyn was someone that had come into the school with a lot of club swimming experience. And coming in as a freshman last year and then her sophomore year this year, to see how much time she improved at the end of the season was so much fun. It showed us that she was very passionate about doing this sport. She worked really hard. She was cognizant of her technique. And just to see the fruition of her dropping time and getting CF consideration times both her freshman and sophomore year, just a great portent for the future.
And you swim the freestyle sprint 50, right?
Yeah.
So good short length, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That's what I like. Sweet and short.
Yeah. I know that I'm going to interview somebody that does the 500 freestyle in a minute, and that's a little bit longer, Coach. He probably doesn't like you all days, every day.
Not that often, not in the distance lane now.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But your thoughts, what is it about swimming that it's kind of, you know, the endorphins that you get going in you and you have to go do something? Do you get that with this sport?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I walk in the pool every day and I hit that gate on the top and I'm so excited to be here and to see everybody. And getting in the water, it's so exhilarating. Like it's something special when I get in. I just absolutely love it.
I can tell you love it. Can you tell? Right, Coach? Oh, yeah. And I want to congratulate you. Before we started this segment, you talked about you just got a job, and I'm thinking, Chick-fil-A, Walmart. No, you're going to be teaching swimming at the Matadors. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Your smile can't get any bigger right now. Tell me about that.
I mean, I really just love teaching people what I love to do. I mean, I like kids, and to be able to show somebody like how you can be comfortable in the water and it really is possible to make a sport out of this and a future out of this, it's really special to me. Like I remember being in lessons and getting that joy from somebody that taught me, and I kind of just want to be the person that does that to another child.
Wow, amazing. Maybe a coach with you one day.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't say no. You just got to graduate from college first. So.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll do that. You'll do that. I want to congratulate you, and you're the elder statesman in this one because you're only junior on the show today. So congratulations. I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
Jackson Nigro coming up next, right here on Coach's Corner.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Coach, this pool opened up in 2007. Before that, there were steel containers right here, and so it's come a long way since then. And then actually last year it got renovated. Everything got renovated. So SM has really bought into your program and what you have done. Your thoughts about the support that you get, not only from the school within itself, but you have a lot of great parents.
Oh, we do. And considering the amount of resources that the school committed to totally redo this pool this past year, I don't even want to look at what the price tag was, but that indicated to us how much they saw the importance of the swimming and water polo programs here and the support they wanted to provide that. But we can't do this coaching thing without the parents.
Yeah. And Jackson, you brought your dad today. He's over here, and I appreciate you doing that. That's kind of cool. So we were jokingly talking about it, but you swim some brutal races, the 200 and the 500. Why?
Okay, so that's actually a funny story because before the high school season started, I was actually a sprinter. So like 50s, 100s, that's all I did. But then over the course of the season, Coach Ron taught me that I can actually do the 500 and 200 and that I'm actually pretty good at it. So that's kind of why I do it, because I'm not that bad at it.
Well, I understand the 200, but tell me about after the 200 in the 500, what is it that, I always wonder about that, what is it that you guys are thinking about all that time? Because you don't get to sightsee, you don't get to look up in the crowd, you don't get to look at coach, you're in the water.
Yeah, so basically, like, I just try to listen to a song when I'm swimming, because I think that's the thing that a lot of swimmers do. They just think of songs, and like that's what I do when I'm swimming, and it's hard, but I just try to push through it.
What type of song are you listening to? You're not listening to Metallica or anything like that? Or
no, anything
country
to like,
song? What is it?
Yeah, anything to get my heart pumping, like rock.
Okay.
Like, AC/DC, that's a good one.
All right, I like it. I like this guy. So you listen to some of that in the car with your dad probably every now and then.
Yeah, right before the race.
Yeah. So tell me, what type of young man is this right here?
Someone that was always thinking about what's best for the team. You know, thinking that he's coming in, I swim the 50 freestyle, the 100 freestyle, the short stuff, and to be able to sacrifice part of himself to be able to swim the events that the team needs the most, that's just as a demonstration of his character.
Yeah. It looks like you could be a good wrestler. My son's a wrestler here at SM, lightweight. How much do you weigh?
I'm actually not that heavy. I'm only like 130.
Yeah, okay.
So it's actually, my dad was a wrestler.
Okay. See, I see that. I knew that. I was a wrestler, so I'm looking at you going, you know, we might steal you for wrestling. Your thoughts about how you selected this sport and why? I like to ask you swimmers that because it is a grueling sport, and I was just telling Coach that I want swimmers in my program because they're always so dedicated, they're committed, and they're just good people. But why swimming for you?
So for me, I've actually been swimming like all my life. Like all the land sports never really interested me.
Okay.
And so like swimming just had like a special place in my heart for some reason. I really enjoy it.
So 10 years from now, do you still think you'll be in the sport some way, shape, or form?
I want to be.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but I want to. It's really fun.
We jokingly talked about KAITLYN coaching. Would you ever consider coaching kids?
I never really thought about it, but that might be a thing I might consider because I really enjoy the sport.
Yeah. Coach, do you see young men like this and young ladies like KAITLYN, do you see like, oh yeah, one day you could be a coach?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we look back at our own start we had no experience in saying we want to jump in and coach, but the very first day at our high school that we were coaching, we knew that this was something that we could do. And so for these kids to see that they've been really given some God-given blessings in terms of their swimming talent. And if they want to share that and impart that as a coach, I think they're going to love doing it, and they're going to be really good at it.
Speaking of coaches, you coach with your brother and your sister, and they do a great job. Tell me about the ability and the time that you have with them as siblings.
Well, it's wonderful to know that we can come down to a normal swim practice and hang out with family. Yeah. And we can talk about anything. And my brother is 1 year older than me, and so a lot of people look at us as twins, and no, we don't have ESP, but it's amazing how we were on the same page all the time. But we still have a chance to talk and communicate, and having Renee, our sister, being there as well, it's just a wonderful experience to bring family here to the pool deck.
Jackson, I'll bounce back to you. You probably thought he forgot about me. No. So if you weren't doing the two events that you were doing, you said you swam shorter, but would you do butterfly back or anything like that?
I'm more of a freestyler.
Okay.
The only other stroke that I think I'm pretty good at is breaststroke.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge flyer or backstroker.
I'm not sure if you heard what Coach was talking about early on about technique. How do you work on your technique? Because, I mean, you're talking splitting hairs when it comes to who wins first or second.
So I remember during the season, there were a few days I came to Coach Ron and asked him for like an extra lesson, in a sense, like to help me with technique. And so he helped me with my butterfly, freestyle, and breaststroke. I don't think we got a chance to do backstroke, but maybe next year.
So next year, speaking of that, you're going to be a sophomore. What's your goal?
My goal is just to have fun.
Yeah.
Like I got a lot of new friends over the season. Like, we are really a family. I didn't think that I would experience that right off the bat, but I can really see it, and I love everyone here, and like everyone's super supportive, and so I really enjoyed this season.
That is awesome. Congratulations to you, and I look forward to your success.
Thank you.
Addison Matthews up next, right here on Coach's Corner.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Coach, we've been talking a lot about swimming, but I have failed to ask you, did you swim?
I did. I swam in college for a couple of years at Orange Coast College, and it was actually that experience that my brother and I had swimming in college that really drew us to coaching, because we saw what the head coach was doing and the kind of program that he was developing, and so we went back to our alma mater, that other Catholic high school in Santa Ana, and that's when we started coaching. Was 2 years after we graduated from high school.
That's amazing. Addison, did you know that? Did you know that Coach was
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't when I joined. I thought that he was just a coach that somehow had great coaching techniques, and then I got here and slowly got to learn about the coaches and like why they were doing it and their passion for it.
Yeah, and so, well, speaking about sports, you were just telling us that, and Coach didn't know this, we're learning a little bit about each other here, that you were a gymnast for 8 years.
I was. That was, it's a really, gymnastics had a really special place in my heart for a long time, but I started to get hurt a lot, and I just couldn't love it as much because I kept having to go out and come back, and it's really hard to keep building yourself back up when it's easier to get hurt the more you do it. So I moved to swimming because I always had a love for the water.
In gymnastics, what type of injuries did you sustain?
I dislocated my shoulder multiple times.
Okay.
I developed a really large knee problem that eventually transferred over to swimming too, but it was more impact injuries versus like overuse injuries like it is in the water.
Yeah. So Coach, a shoulder surgery or shoulder injury coming into swimming is challenging. Your thoughts, do you know about these type of things as they get into the pool? Like, do they fill out a checklist, you know, what's going on in their body?
They don't, but we hope that we have a really good open line of communication. And for any of the kids to just come up to us and say, you know, this is bothering me. You know, I'm feeling my shoulder, or my knee's hurting me, so that we can adjust practices, we can adjust even the races that they do. But we just always want to make sure that we get a chance to chat with the kids and have them feel comfortable that they can come and talk to us about anything.
Yeah, and Addison, you're going to be a sophomore, butterfly in the freestyle. How's your shoulder now?
It's actually been fine. My knee's been more of the issue now because after the impact of gymnastics and then coming in with overuse of swimming, that's been more of the issue. But I've been in physical therapy and rehab for 2 years probably, and it's gotten pretty good. I'm able to manage it now.
If Coach came to you and said, look, you got to pick one or two, butterfly or freestyle, which would it be?
That's a hard decision. I would probably say probably butterfly, only because I've really started to improve in that more over my freestyle. But I love them both.
It seems to me, Coach, that butterfly is a lot more difficult. Is it? Because we're taught how to freestyle when we swim, right?
It is truly about technique. If your butterfly technique is sound, your butterfly looks amazing, and it actually is easy. But if the technique is off, it's painful. And so Addie's done a great job working with her technique to really try to make butterfly as smooth and as easy as possible.
If you were to ask her to decide on one of those two, which one would it be, do you think?
If I was asking her or my opinion?
Let's go ask first.
Okay. So which one would you rather do, butterfly or 500 freestyle?
Oh, that. Oh, okay.
Probably 100 fly, although I've started to enjoy the 500 more than I ever have in the past 5 years of swimming that I've been doing.
So you're doing the 500.
I started to this year. I had not.
Because I didn't write 500 down. That's crazy.
So I have been a sprinter since I started when I was 10.
Okay.
And I sprinted. I've done butterfly and free all the way up until probably when I got here, and I started to just work on my distance and pacing and all that, and my 500 started to take off, so that was really fun.
Okay, so that's why you asked that.
You get a chance to see,
coach.
well, you see kids, their talent, and you can tell a freestyle stroke is going to be better suited for a longer distance race than a shorter distance race. And so you try to encourage them to start thinking that maybe a long distance race is going to be to their liking, and hope that they come up with their own agreement that this is what's best for them.
So Jackson told me he listens to rock music when he's doing the 500. What goes on in your head?
I don't as much listen to music because...
Well, I'm sorry, he doesn't listen to it, he just listens to it in his head. That's my bad.
No, I understand what you're saying.
If there's some way we can do that, please let me know.
I understand what you're saying. I don't play music in my head, I guess you could say.
Thank you.
But I more of encourage myself and try to keep myself on pace. I'm really aware of the people around me and kind of what their time's on, what they're going for at not CIF, at League. One of my teammates, Zoe, was swimming next to me, so I was able to know her goal times and what she was pacing. And I try to just watch the people around me and kind of encourage myself to stay on pace.
Gotcha. You bring up an interesting thing, Coach. When they are swimming and they come up, are you saying something to them or are you laid back?
We try to yell as much as we can, but I think it's more for our sake to make it sound like we're throwing that out there, because I think with the swimmer, when they're taking a breath, it's very, very quick. Yeah. They don't have a chance to really hear it, but at least it makes us feel better. Yeah.
How do you get up so early every day and probably not going to bed until sometimes, I'm sure, midnight, because you're doing studies? Mm-hmm. How do you dedicate yourself to that and continuously do that throughout the school year?
Well, it's just, you have to find a balance of time, and when you love something as much as I love swimming and as much as I want to do well in school, you sacrifice those things and you say, well, I can take a nap Saturday afternoon after morning practice when I need to get my power training in and I need to do my distance training.
Wow. So, Coach, it's easy to coach athletes like this when they have that kind of dedication.
Oh, it is. It does. Yeah.
Fantastic. I got to mention again, I mentioned it at the top of the program today, but when you look at what Coach Blanc and the Blancs have done here at SM since they arrived in '96. Again, 9 times they have won the CIF championship with the girls, 2 times with the boys, 3 state championships with the girls, and 4 national championships with the girls, including just this past month here at Santa Margarita Catholic High School. Truly amazing. Coach Ron, you're amazing, and your athletes are just phenomenal. And thank you for doing this. I had a blast. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. And great job, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, that was awesome.